why do you feel lonely, even when you're surrounded by people? This is not a simple problem. Carl Jung believed loneliness is often a sign of something deeper. Not that you're unlovable. Not that you're broken. But that you are no longer compatible with the life you're living. Some loneliness is not a lack of people. It is a lack of truth. Jung noticed that many people feel lonely because they are wearing a mask all day. They smile. They act normal. They play the role. But inside, they're hiding. Hiding pain. Hiding anxiety. Hiding anger. Hiding their real personality. And when you live like that for too long, you start to feel unseen. Not because people are ignoring you, but because the real you is not present. Jung called this mask the persona. The persona is useful. It helps you survive in society. But when you become trapped in it, you don't feel connected. You feel empty. And the more you try to fix that emptiness with noise, friends, entertainment, the more lonely you become. Because the problem was never the outside. The problem was the separation inside you. And if you understand what Jung taught, your loneliness will stop feeling like a curse. And start feeling like a message. A message from your unconscious. A warning, and an invitation. Let's break it down. Carl Jung believed that most loneliness begins with a split. A split between who you are and who you pretend to be. From childhood, we learn what gets approval. We learn what makes people like us. So we shape ourselves into something acceptable. Jung called this the persona. The persona is the social mask you wear. It's the personality you use at work, with family, with strangers, even with friends. And the persona is not evil. It's necessary. But Jung warned that when you over-identify with your persona, you start to disappear. You stop expressing what you truly feel. You hide your real opinions. You suppress your natural energy. You become what society rewards, not what your soul needs. And this is the psychological trap. People may like your persona, but they don't know you. So even when you're surrounded by people, you feel alone. Because they are close to your mask, not to your true self. This is why some people feel more lonely in a crowd than they feel alone in a quiet room. Because deep inside they know no one is really meeting them. No one is really touching the truth. Jung would say that loneliness is often the price of self-abandonment. When you abandon yourself long enough, you start craving connection. But real connection is impossible when you are not real. So the first step in healing loneliness is not finding more people. It's returning to yourself. It's asking, where am I still performing? Where am I still hiding? Where have I betrayed my own nature to be accepted? And once you start answering those questions, you'll begin to understand why loneliness follows you. Because loneliness is not just about others. It's about the relationship you have with yourself. For Jung, the most important concept in psychology was the shadow. The shadow is everything inside you that you reject. It can be anger, jealousy, neediness, fear, desire, ambition. But it can also be positive things, like confidence, creativity, or power. Anything you were taught was too much gets pushed into the unconscious. And the shadow does not disappear. It waits. It grows. Jung believed that what you repress doesn't die. It becomes stronger in the dark. And over time, repression creates inner tension. You start feeling like you don't fully belong anywhere. Because a part of you is always missing. A part of you is always hidden. And this is why loneliness becomes chronic. Not because nobody loves you, but because you are not whole. Jung would say, If you hide your real emotions, you will feel isolated. If you hide your anger, you will feel weak. If you hide your sadness, you will feel numb. If you hide your personality, you will feel invisible. Because the hidden parts of you are demanding attention. And loneliness is one of the ways your psyche forces you to face it. It's like your unconscious saying, "You can't keep living like this." So many people try to escape loneliness. They fill their life with messages, social media, relationships, noise. But Jung would say, you cannot outrun what lives inside you. If you don't face your shadow, you will keep searching for connection in the wrong places. And you will keep feeling empty, even when someone is next to you. This is why some relationships feel lonely too. Because you can't be close to someone if you're not close to yourself. Jung believed the goal is not to destroy the shadow. The goal is to integrate it. To bring back the parts of you that were rejected. Because when you become whole, your loneliness changes. It stops being a wound and becomes a doorway to transformation. Jung believed something most people never realize. Not all loneliness is bad. Some loneliness is a sign of growth. It happens when you begin to outgrow your old identity. When you stop accepting shallow conversations. When you stop laughing at what drains you. When you stop pretending. Your old self begins to die. And that creates space. At first, that space feels like loneliness. But Jung would describe it differently. He would call it separation. A psychological separation from false life. Because as you grow, you become less compatible with certain people. Not because you think you're better, but because you can no longer live unconsciously. Jung's idea of individuation is the journey of becoming a whole person. Not a perfect person. A whole person. It means you stop living as a copy. You stop living for approval. You stop living as a persona. And you start living from your inner truth. But the path of individuation has a cost. You become different. And when you become different, some people can't follow you. So you experience isolation. Sometimes you lose friends. Sometimes you lose relationships. Sometimes you feel misunderstood. And Jung would say, this loneliness is not proof that you're broken. It's proof that you are waking up. Your psyche is pushing you away from the crowd. So you can finally meet yourself. This is why solitude becomes important. Not because you hate people, but because you need silence to hear your unconscious. Jung believed the unconscious communicates through emotions. And loneliness is one of those messages. It's telling you, stop running outside. Come back inside. Build your inner life. Because once your inner life becomes rich, you won't fear loneliness anymore. You'll use it. You'll grow from it. You'll transform. And when you return to people, you won't return as someone desperate for connection. You'll return as someone complete. So how do you heal loneliness? Jung would not tell you to simply be more social. He would tell you to become more honest. Because the deepest cure for loneliness is inner integration. The first step is to stop treating loneliness like an enemy. Loneliness is information. It's your psyche trying to communicate with you. So instead of escaping it, listen to it. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What truth am I afraid to face? What part of me have I been hiding? Jung believed that your healing begins when you face your shadow. Not just the dark parts, but the parts of you that you disowned. Maybe you disowned your anger, so you became too passive. Maybe you disowned your ambition, so you stayed small. Maybe you disowned your sensitivity, so you became emotionally cold. And when you cut off parts of yourself, you cut off parts of your life. This is why loneliness feels like emptiness. Because something in you is missing. So Jung's solution is not noise. It's inner work, Here are simple Jungian steps. First, spend time alone without distraction. No phone. No scrolling. No constant music. Just silence. Second, write what you feel. Not what you should feel. What you truly feel. Third, notice patterns. What situations trigger loneliness the most? What kind of people make you feel unseen? Fourth, stop performing. Stop forcing yourself to be liked. Start speaking with honesty, even if it's uncomfortable. Because every time you act like someone you're not, you deepen loneliness. And every time you show your real self, you create the possibility of real connection. Jung believed authenticity is the bridge. Not popularity. Not attention. Authenticity. And the more authentic you become, the less lonely you feel, even if you're alone. Because you finally have yourself. Let's end with Jung's deepest message. Loneliness is not always a punishment. Sometimes it is a calling. A calling to return to the parts of yourself you abandoned. A calling to stop living as a mask. A calling to stop chasing shallow validation. Jung believed that when you are lonely, your unconscious is inviting you to transform. Because transformation requires separation. It requires silence. It requires distance from the noise. This is why many people fear loneliness. Because loneliness forces you to face yourself. No distractions. No escaping. Just you. And in that space, the truth comes out. Your real desires. Your real pain. Your real wounds. Your real strength. Jung would say, the person who cannot sit alone with himself will always be controlled by the world. Controlled by attention. Controlled by relationships. Controlled by approval. But the person who learns to stand alone becomes psychologically free. Because once you stop fearing loneliness, you stop begging for connection. You stop chasing people who don't see you. You stop accepting shallow relationships just to avoid silence. And instead, you build a deeper life. You build character. You build self-respect. You build an inner world that cannot be taken away. Then when people enter your life, they enter as an addition, not as a rescue. And that is the difference between dependency and wholeness. So if you feel lonely today, don't panic. Don't label yourself broken. This may be your turning point. Your psyche is asking you to wake up. To come back to yourself. To become whole. Because when you become whole, you are never truly alone again.